The moment we have all been waiting for is finally here, and it couldn't have come in a more poetic way. Just a year ago, we saw the Francis Central team take on St. Charles in the grand finals in their own tournament. And it was Francis Howell Central who came away with the win then. They had a rematch just 7 hours ago, Jesse, and it was a complete sweep from Francis Howell. St. Charles High, they're on a hot streak. They've been looking great. They came off of a 2-1 win, but will it be enough to take down the defending champs?
That's the question on everybody's mind. Who knew that we'd be going right back into this, right? Starting the day on this matchup. We're going to end the day on this matchup. It is a best of 5, and it is the same map set as it was for the JV show match. So guaranteed maps: Ilios, Eichenwald, Runesapi, potentially Suravasa, and Route 66 later on. But those are the guaranteed maps, at least those first 3 between these two absolute titans. I'm not going to lie. We're not going to hold you too long. The players are already ready in lobby. We're going to go pretty much straight into lobby here in a moment. But like we kind of said earlier, I'm done predicting trying how these games are going to go. I've been wrong almost every single time. And yes, I'm just going to put my hands up and be like, I just want a banger. I don't care if it's a 3-0 banger, a 3-2 banger. I just want a phenomenal game. I'm slightly leaning towards Francis Howell just because they won the game earlier today. I think that's responsible of me as trying to be someone to fix my record here, but it is hard to pick against the home team. I can't lie.
Yeah, especially with how good St. Charles have performed ever since they hit this playoff bracket. Like, I don't want to say they weren't trying, but this is a new level of the Cyber Corsairs from when we saw them at the beginning. I mean, maybe you were a little sleep deprived, you had to wake up, you had to get some games in you, and you just happened to play your hardest match of the day first. So from there, St. Charles has not lost a single game to point out, and neither has Francis Howell Central. Both remain undefeated except for each other, and that makes this matchup all the more interesting. We know St. Charles High, they want to win their own event. They want to get the revenge pick. Francis Howell Central has performed as a titan, a mere god that St. Charles High has been able to find the cracks and unable to make them bleed. And they're going to start here on Ilios. See what they can do.
Over to Ilios, like we said. And yeah, I'm excited. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm very excited about this game. I won't like going into this tournament as someone who wasn't here last year, right? You were here last year. You kind of know some of these teams going in. I'm curious where the level is going to be, because some events, it can be a little shaky. Some events like this, you got teams who are genuinely really good, and I want to see how this goes. It will be Cheeky Scrub on tank, Rhoda on DPS. I know they've been changing that up throughout the day as well. Here we go. Zenith on the Junker at the start. It's been a while since we've seen Zenith, but I got a feeling they're still popping shots already. Rogue, who's hitting shots.
I don't think Rogue has missed a headshot. The dynamite comes through as well, and not skip the beat. Francis Howell Central are still as good as they were, and they just watched this long, grueling series that St. Charles High had to play. Francis Howell is prepared for what is headed their way. No more surprises left.
That is the one thing, the factor we actually didn't talk about initially, is fatigue. Because of the fact that St. Charles, they've been on stream game after game after game now, but also the fact Francis Howell, they got their semifinal done. What? It was after map 1 or during map 1 of the St. Charles semifinal. So they've had time to reset, get some food in them, watch the game, and relax. St. Charles really hasn't had that opportunity. So I wonder if fatigue is going to play a factor here for the Cyber Corsairs.
Been 8 hours since we started our day today, and even us, we're not playing, but we're starting to feel what that fatigue looks like. This is a test of endurance and team play. Boot Chop so far has showed us that the Reinhardt reigns supreme, just swinging all some hammers around and using Maywell's the Junkrat spam. There's just so much for Francis Howell to look forward to with this squad. Oh my God.
I will say Rogue, we didn't say their name a whole lot in the first match. Because, again, it was a lot of Bemantrio running in on Lucio and everything else. But it's been great.
No way. No way. No way.
No way. No way. No way.
What's coming? And it gets him. Sneaky play from the Zenith hiding around the corner that no one That's why we always say, check your six, people. Otherwise, you're gonna get blown to bits.
Well, it's the fact that it's almost like the Reaper checked them, too. Like they almost checked the corner and just didn't actually see them. Rhoda will actually go over now to the Bastion to try and help out their Reinhardt a bit. But now you need to win this fight. You got to win a few more fights after. The Rogue's on the flank for a bomb.
No one can look at Rogue. No one can touch him. At least with Earth Shatter is blocked. Well, the shield in place. Right from Cheeky Scrub. Zenith is still a problem. Zenith has lived in this small room. He has planted his flag there and says, I'm not looting. Problem. You don't have any touch. Not that you look at the Junkrat. The payload took the back of their mind, and that's a bit of a problem. That's what keeps the round going. Francis, Howell Central, clearly continuing their run from earlier today.
They're like, hey, it was no fluke earlier today how we were playing. A clean 100-0 to start off. And yeah, this is great. Like, this is just phenomenal so far for Francis Howell. Now we go back over to Ilios Well, our favorite. You know, we talked about at the very beginning of the day. We like Ilios. Why? Because of the well. I wonder if we're going to see more of it. Honestly, part of me doubts it. Only because, like, are we really going to see the Roadhog again? I don't think so. But here we go. It'll be the Maga and the Rhine. Cheeky Scrub may have a fun time trying to do this. But honestly, there is at least enough range for St. Charles to where it could also be boot shop.
That's what I think is. I have to see Rhoda on a Reaper. And Jesse, if you remember last series at all, Rhoda was frying. Fortunately, now he does have a sliver of HP, can't really get killed. You don't get to see that Reaper get close. And you did bring that up. The difference of the range between these two teams. It takes longer for St. Charles High in position. They take more damage, use more cooldowns to get to a fighting point. And Francis Howell will always have a little bit of a head start to fight.
Yeah, just because they have that little bit extra speed. And Zenith, we talked about initially, on the Genji is going to make life very difficult for Bane and Dread Pirate just because they can be so quick in and out. They've kind of snuck back into the meta with some recent changes to the game. And they're just straight chilling.
I mean, it is the nicest way possible, Zenith. Zenith is playing like a rat. He's hiding around these corners and just catching people off guard. This time it is him who oversteps bounds, and Cheeky Scrub comes back to help the rest of the back line. And for St. Charles High, they need to be. They've been had their attention so split that they need to lock in onto one threat, and so far, that's been the case. Boot Chop is down, and she'll start to push the rest of this advantage here. Rogue close to a Bob, but I don't expect him to pop it to touch, especially after, actually maybe after Zenith gets that elimination.
Yeah.
Scrub can't remake. You have no tank. Why not? Throw the Robot Butler into the mix and allow Zenith to play yet another hero to a high degree. 3 kills for him alone.
But okay, he was like, okay, you want to play range? We'll play range. Well, let's go over to the Cassidy. You don't have to infantry team to get the value. And yeah, I was wondering if they're going to throw the bomb initially, but it still didn't matter. They threw it in later and got it done. Now over halfway through, well for Francis Howell. And now you look again. The ultimate orbital ray could make this a difference maker for Fame. Rhoda's Blizzard could be interesting. No, and there it is, already chucked out.
Now, tried to look for it early, but I mean, Zenith actually has a Deadeye. He just swapped to Cassidy last fight. Like, this is insane amounts of value from this player. We didn't get to see him. He didn't see him on the roster last time, and he's the captain. And I can clearly see the impact he's having on this series, this outcome. Francis Howell has looked untouchable.
Yeah, like you said, they've looked untouchable. Zenith as a captain, obviously you can tell they're having great calls because they've just been able to run it. Yes, they don't have Rogue right now. I think St. Charles understand that. So they're going to play a little fast, but also because they got about 5% or so to really get a touch on that point.
Oh no, the Deadeye combo. They're going to make sure Cheeky Scrub is sent 6 feet under so fast. Doesn't even need the ultimate. Carries it back to the objective, but the Maywall just enough to block the sight lines. St. Charles High, they fought, they tried, they really did. Francis Howell had it for every single competition. There's no more surprises, no more answers left in the tank. Francis Howell Central cleanly winning Ilios.
Clean 2-0. That's exactly how you need to start a grand final. Especially with all of the momentum St. Charles has been able to build throughout this bracket. Close game after close game. You need to shut them out this one. Painful. to see just nobody checks the corner. In fact, they even play. And that, for the home team, not a great scenario to be. That's a map you really want to win, because again, we look at the maps. Eichenwald is next, and I wouldn't necessarily say that the dive has been great from them so far. Yes, they've had their moments to where it's looked all right, but they really are going to step it up a tiny bit, because you got to stop the bleeding at some point. If you get a 2-0 Runasapi can get out of hand, like we saw earlier today, very, very fast.
And I think it's gonna start with the DPS problem. I mean, Rogue, I don't think he's like, anytime we watch his perspective, he doesn't miss. Like,
No.
he's just that good at the hit scan. Like, that is a mechanical talent, a rarity within this level of this age, rather, not even level, this age of gameplay. It's very impressive to see. And I said earlier, I promise it's not an insult. Zenith is playing like a rat. It is a compliment. He's playing super sneaky in the backline and completely catching St. Charles off guard. The element of surprise is not something that you should underestimate in a game that moves as fast and changing as fast as Overwatch does.
The fact that, like you said, us saying he's a rat, that is a positive thing, right?
Yes.
You're on the flanks. You're messing with the opposition, messing with their brains. And yes, you're not always getting the kills, even died once for it, but it's allowing the rest of your team to really get the value out of it. So I think so far it's been great so far from Zenith. And now, again, as we get ready for this second map, are you going to be able to continue that? Are you wanting, honestly, I would just keep Rogue on the Ash. I won't lie, considering how well they were playing. We spectated them at the beginning of Lighthouse. Headshot, 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 hits dynamite. It's like, it was unbelievable the amount of shots that were hitting. I guess we are ready now for map 2, but I would say, if you're afraid to how, keep Rogue on the Ash. It's worked for you so far.
Please.
Just keep it going.
We said it before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There is absolutely no reason for Francis Howell to change up what they're doing. But speaking of change, Jesse, I think this is a good spot for St. Charles, because we have been complimenting them on their ability to adapt mid-game. And this is a great checkpoint for them to figure out, what do you need to change? You know that Rogue and Zenith are a problem. How do you adjust your gameplay around it? Do you want to try Windowmaker on the Sombra again? Maybe some form of dive could be the answer, like a diva from what we seen earlier in the day, or just go back to good old faithful, the Reinhardt, the Widowmaker. You have options if you're St. Charles. That, I don't think they're going to predict what Francis Howell are playing. If they do, please buy a lottery. Actually, they can't do that. They're underage.
They're not
Don't buy a lottery ticket, but you are a very lucky person if you guess what they're running.
I would say get some loot boxes, but those are also, extinct at this point.
Yeah, those are yeah.
I'm confused. I won't lie to you. It seems to be a popular thing today. I don't know why you wouldn't just stick the Reinhardt when it was working so well, but maybe they have something cooking, right? They have something ready to go. St. Charles, this is a normal comp for them, right? They have Windowmaker on their signature hero, cheeky scrub on the Reinhardt. This is a very traditional rush, just with Windowmaker on their best role. The Roadhog is not quite in that state.
Yeah, hey, if we learned anything today, it's let Boot Chop do Boot Chop things, and he will succeed while it happens. The problem is, there's an Ana. Red Pirate is the capability to single-handedly destroy Boot Chop. However, that has not happened. It's been Superhoff and Zenith instead in the kill feed. It's only now that Windowmaker makes that appearance. You're pushing up on the defense, and the Roadhog, again, I don't think it was accounted for. Like, in what world would you expect Boot Chop to roll out on this?
Not me. I won't lie. I wouldn't have expected it whatsoever. And I think the Diva is a good swap, not only for the Roadhog, but post-mortem does exist. The one hero in Overwatch that it does.
No, and they're gonna get. Oh wait, they don't get the stat. Girls, great killing. Cheeky scrub. Wait, the immortality field has to be pulled, and it's not a big deal. At least all of your players are alive, except Rhoda. And Boot Chop is having a hard time playing face-to-face with the tanks right now. Eventually getting the tank out of mech. A nice bio-nade from downtown. Superhoff making a mark of their own. Zenith from above. I mean, this is looking great. Out of Francis Howell. He was Zenith on his favorite hero. Boot Chop doing his own shenanigans. And as their look is coming.
I do think St. Charles are just they're just like the rest was like, this was not something they showed earlier today in their game. This is not something they showed on stream. This is a very random composition, but they're keeping Rhoda in check.
Rhoda hasn't been able to do anything this game, and if anything, he's the one that needs to make space to force positioning, but he's been getting shut down by Boot Chop, by Superhoff, if anything. And the key thing here, Jesse, look at that ult economy. I see a bunch of bright, shiny lights. Boot Chop going down, sure, that's something, but Francis Howell have infinite resources to cover.
Yeah, they just have everything they possibly need to try and stall this. They got Nano onto the main, Blizzard out. No.
Struck! Rogue gets out of danger, and again, Francis Howell, infinite resources, nice purple out of Dread Pirate. It's only the supports, though, fighting this battle, and it's not one that you're going to win for the time being. About 90 seconds left on this clock, and St. Charles High have yet to strike the answer.
They've at least got to the point, but like you said, they have not found. They have not cracked
to be the patient.
Sigma again could be an answer. You can accretion Boot Chop when they're trying to back up and using to take a breather, but you can also get hooked in like that and force the lamp out early.
Well, man, Biolate 2 onto Boot Chop. The tank is in trouble. St. Charles, they can push on this now. That's a wonderful opportunity given to them by Dread Pirate. Windowmaker is now free to hit the shots that we very well know that he can, but it's V-Man Trio fighting his own ultimate. He's used it just on himself, and gets one, gets two. Both the supports are gone to the hands of V-Man Trio. He's an incredible flex support player and is almost single-handedly giving Francis Howell a chance. Even if he goes down, then this back with a rip tire.
They needed a touch.
Yes, they can. They missed the jump. That's unfortunate. V-Man Trio top. Gotta give it to him.
Vimantria also needed to stall literally for maybe a second. We're talking about this continuing on, but instead, at 2.5 minutes on, they're acting like this fight ain't done.
No, they're fighting in the same spot. I don't think Francis Howell will care. Rhoda is sick of the pulse bomb. And this is important. Even if St. Charles High don't have the numbers right now, making Francis Howell reset in a staggered fashion, think about how far away these spawn rooms are. It's going to take him forever to reach.
It's going to take him a while, and yeah, especially Rogue. I respect the stall, but it's not really going to do a whole lot. It's going to take a while for this door to open. And Francis, no, again, they're off the hog. I wonder if that's hey, we're gonna try. And the nano, that's an amped flux. Like
Riveted Flux doesn't do too much. Boot Chop has so much health and can't move as far forward as he would have liked. Then he's down, so the castle is more of an option for St. Charles High to push in. The problem is Cheeky Scrub does not want to fight within hammer range, and Boot Chop wants to fight within hammer range, so he'll be going so fast his team and gets Windowmaker, of all players, caught out on the low ground. Hopefully punished for his crimes, but no, Superhoff swooped in the superhero to save the day, and Francis Howell somehow, some way will stabilize.
how in the world does Boot Chop live? That is wild. I would say Superhoff. That was a phenomenal cleanse. The fact that they do that, they don't use a single ultimate during that as well. They build a few ultimates for the heroes that they swap. I don't think that fight could have gone any better.
No, that was the near perfection right there. And Francis Howell, they want to make a play. Boot Chop, stuck with another pulse bomb, this time on the shield. You don't have V-Man Trio. So honestly, if you're Boot Chop right now, lay down the shatter. Don't let St. Charles High push up, because if you let them take this battle, it is one that you will most definitely lose. Boot Chop is out of resources, lays their shatter on the card. There's one, there's two, and finish to blow up the rest. Great combination out of Francis Howell.
Even when you could just see, as soon as the window went down, Boot Chop was like, I'm good. I don't want it. I would rather not face the window, but instead, right after, turn around, shatter. You could see Zenith was just chilling, waiting for something to happen, whether it be a full commit from St. Charles, lamp to go down, something, so they could use that tire. And now they go, can't you? Oh, I don't know. They're going to be able to get out, but they have to use range.
Yeah, you got V-Man Trio. This is honestly okay. Even if you end up losing a couple, you have Orbital Ray, you're full on through. This is final fight. St. Charles High realistically aren't going to get a full re-engage. Do you think? I don't even know if they have a touch, in all honesty.
Bane or Rhoda should be able to.
not Rhoda. That's out of the picture. It's going to have to be the life
All right.
mover. Rogue is back on that Ash that we saw him absolutely shred on last map. 4K for him, and what a way for Francis Howell to close out this defense that was pretty darn near perfection here. St. Charles High did most of the things right, Jesse. Francis Howell were just better. They were more prepared for these pushes than St. Charles expected.
Like you said, I think they're just in a great spot right now to where, in the very beginning of this game, they were just so unorthodox in what they were doing, right? They're running a Roadhog. It took St. Charles a long time to try and figure that out. And arguably, Francis Howell should have had another touch, but just couldn't get on it quite in time. So, like, all right, St. Charles, they finally got through a difficult point. They forced some swaps. And then you swapped Francis Howell back to their comfort zone. They swapped to the Rhino. They swapped to this Rush. And now they can go back over to the Maga if they want to. It's this rotation of compositions that they're so comfortable in. There's just a few more in the bank that wise than St. Charles, who's really locked in. I'd say to about 2 compositions with Cheeky Scrub in at least. I think that has really been where they've taken the advantage. They're always the aggressors, and they have just way more flexibility to counter what the Cyber Corsairs are doing.
There's so much wiggle room. That's what I keep saying. Like, St. Charles High, they're a team that we can say can adapt. They'll try new things, like Windowmaker on the Bastion. That's a new thing for sure, but you have to acknowledge that what Francis Howell have been able to accomplish between mainly Zenith and Rogue, but also Bootshop's straight up confidence. I mean, this guy has so much trust in Montreal and Superhoff to get incredibly aggressive. Cheeky Scrub, who is known for doing the same thing, doesn't know how to respond to it, and then just individual plays like this. Bane is down from one shot of Zenith, and Bootshop can go right in, help finish it off. The Bionade, the wall, none of it is enough against a full-fledged Mauga who wants to brawl.
It's just such a weird character. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad we're not in Maga meta anymore because, trust me, we were for a while there, everybody, and it was not fun to cast. Oh, but the fact that they're able to do that, if Zenith finds a picture, it's pretty grass. I won't lie.
But
well.
as you were
Oh
saying,
my God.
there it is. Rhoda goes down. Zenith, I think, just grabbed. Was that a grapple shot over the top?
Maybe?
But not quite. It was kind of close. Zenith was already in the position and almost got punished for it. Cheeky Scrub leapt on the opportunity. This is the problem, is the payload wasn't nearly far enough for St. Charles High to lose high ground positioning. They still have that as an option, and maybe okay because of it. It's just the fact that Bootshop is so far in. Thankfully, everyone on St. Charles will live through and actually punish Bootshop this time around.
Yeah, they finally get punished. And now, yeah, everybody low is going to try and get out, but Cheeky Scrub is deep. Are they going to... I don't know if they get out of this. Are they... Oh, no, they don't.
Oh, no, they don't! The burn! I think that was the extra burning effect from Bootshop. That was a small micro buff that Malkinus received just a week ago, and it worked out to their advantage. Then it's back in a risky position, doesn't quite land the shot that he needs to. There it is! One out of the life weaver, the back piece to follow, and Jesse, this map is looking as good as over. Francis Howell Central are going to push themselves up to a almost championship point. They have one last fight to determine if it's possible for St. Charles High. I mean, they're broken, they're beaten, and it's only a matter of time before they crumble. Match point, championship point for Francis Howell to get the 2-peat in the St. Charles High School Overwatch Invitational.
I think they're probably playing the best they are right now than they have the entire season. I think they're playing like the #1 team, and it's been showing. The fact that this is working as well as it is. And having the knowledge, like, hey, if I just pop this right now, shuts down the entire window, my teammates are going to be able to clean up as well. It's just the trust in this team is unbelievable, and that was the map I think St. Charles needed to win to have a chance. I won't lie to you. Rudasapi can be a very dangerous map, and it also leans very heavily to what Francis Howell have loved to do, which is rush, get in your face, just no doubt in your mind, just go in without any withdrawal. And that is just how you have to play push, and especially Rudasapi. St. Charles are going to have to pull out some tricks out of the bag if they want to start at least the reverse sweep.
Those first 4 or 5 minutes of push are by far the most important of the map. If one team gets so far ahead, I mean, that's what we saw the last time this match was played in the JV show match, that you got to a point where it's just impossible to return. You can win 5 fights in a row, but even that won't get you past a point. And with how dominant Francis Howell have been in this series, it's up to St. Charles. You're going to have one last chance to prove yourselves at this event. They've made it to the finals 2 times in a row. By far, no slouches. But Francis Howell has just looked better and better as the day has gone on, and the title looks closer to theirs with every fight that we've seen. Now with one map of Brunasapi standing in their way, will they manage to sweep, go flawless without dropping a map? And honestly, Jesse, you keep playing like they have, it's totally possible.
I won't lie. I would love to see if they're going to do this. Having a perfect tournament, a perfect day, would be just the icing on the cake for how this match is done, because it would perfectly tell the story. It has been Francis Howell above the rest. Yes, there's been challenges here and there. We thought there was maybe some potential challenges on the lower side of the bracket that didn't quite make it to this point. But now it's up to St. Charles. What can they do against Francis Howell this time around? We do have a role swap for the potential final map. Rhoda has returned to tank on the Doomfist. Cheeky Scrub onto the Junk. And I will say, if you're going to pull out the Doomfist for Rhoda, you might as well pull it out now. You got nothing to lose.
Feels like a comfort con. St. Charles side, they're like, we've tried counter swapping, we tried playing our strategy, and now we just need to go back to what is most comfortable. And unfortunately for them, it is countered out by Francis Howell. They lost the luck of the draw. Zenith is on Tracer and has now snagged 2 all by himself, and that is the power that this team has. They had the read, and St. Charles High didn't stand a chance.
I won't lie, that would have been ridiculous. But again, this is what we're talking about, to where these early games, you can build such an advantage. I will say, if they hit tick right here, it's a perfect start. It's a perfect start for Francis Howell, and it already puts St. Charles in an awful.
And if you're playing Cheeky Scrub 2 on the Junkrat, you don't want to fight in this part of the map. You don't get to chuck bombs down small corridors and guarantee it hits somebody, nor can you support your tank on moves like that. Zenith is still being a nuisance in the back line. The extra damage that Rogue is putting in with the Dynamite, Boot Chop does whatever Boot Chop wants to do, and this is a recipe for success. Fragile House Central have capped this first point, and Jesse, if they win another fight or 2 here, I don't know if St. Charles will be able to come back from it.
It might be a wrap at this point. If they win this next one, if they win this next fight, we saw it in the JV game. It made it be too much. Nice little dodge there, Red Pirate. That could have been disaster.
Red Pirate will be okay. He takes a couple shots to the face, but he'll do a lot more than that. V-Man Trio, Orbital Ray from above, and support line. It's done. It's gone. The trades from St. Charles High will certainly help this payload maybe halt its progress slightly, but at the end of it, the dust settles. Francis Howell have more numbers, and this robot's still moving.
They're going to hit 100 meters before we get through 3 minutes, or just over 2 minutes into this game. That is unbelievable here for Francis. They may not play this super aggressive. They know it's just right now. Yeah. Ring behind them. They're out of there. They do not want to try and press them. But they got the value they want. They got it to 107 meters on their first full push. It's going to take a lot of fights now for St. Charles to get to a remotely similar push.
And they still haven't dealt with Zenith. Boot Chop is in the back line. He's charging in and almost got Dread Pirate with the counter punch out of Boot Chop. And there you go. Earth Shatter on the ground. Both supports down. 2 swings of a hammer, and Francis Howell, and they just turned around the field. They had all the ultimates, and the players, they're just pushing the limits at this point.
Yeah, they're just pushing the limits, trying to, hey, they want to get this done. They want to end it on an exclamation point, not just a period. Rhoda now goes over to the rest. They have given up on trying to run the Doom Show. It's not just a little bit of a wave. I know, I'm over here. Don't pay attention to the rest.
That's what you want to do. As a Tracer, draw attention, but Boot Chop certainly has plenty of that. Cheeky Scrub, Riptire here. You need an ultimate to turn your day around? Well, this is just the one to do it, assuming he can get it towards a target. Gets set, was waiting for the bait. He knew where the Junkrat was located, and finally deals with that techy little Tracer player. St. Charles used everything, though, in the bank just to get to this point. They're down Fane. Window Maker isn't faring too much better. V-Man Trio has been coming up in the kill feed a lot. I think it's the best tuner player we've genuinely watched all day long. How much impact they've had on the outcome, helping with Boot Chop's aggression, and they're marching to the spawns. Francis Howell have hit a new high. St. Charles have one last effort, one draw, but it's Boot Chop to shut it all down. This part mere meters away from full things. Francis Howell one step from repeating the championship. It's only one that stands in their way, and they don't get the touch. Francis Howell Central are your two-time St. Charles Overwatch Invitational champion.
What a way to do it. If you're Francis Howell, you finish the map, you sweep the hometown crowd. And it was what, a perfect? Yeah, 0 meters for St. Charles. Almost unheard of in push. And in fact that the fight before this, when St. Charles, they used 3 ultimates, Francis Howell have the acknowledgement like, hey, just get out. Get out. They use Tree, they use Tire, they use Juno ult. They only get the Tracer. At that point, hey, we just wait a second. We push in. We have the ultimates. We have the advantage. And that is how Francis Howell, they win this tournament. And what a phenomenal way to do it. Because commiserations to St. Charles. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. This time around, again, for St. Charles. But I got to say, they played excellent this weekend. It's the one team they can't beat, it seems like, is Francis Howell.
It's a rivalry in the making.
Yeah.
It didn't already exist in the first place. I can tell you for a fact that it is there now. Francis Howell have just shown time and time again why they are the strongest team. There is not a single weak link. Everywhere you look, it is bright spot after bright spot, star after star. And I seriously hope that every single one of these players, regardless of how far they are within high school, like they keep playing on this team, that they can keep achieving these things, because this is a squad that really can go places. We've seen talented teams throughout the day today, and the fact that Francis can just walk in and make it look easy, taking down every single other squad, is insane.
It's a perfect run for a perfect day for Francis Howell. That's the way you got to put it. Perfection personified for Francis Howell Central. What a way to win it. Congratulations to everybody on the team. What a way to do it. And what a day. You know, we've been here for a while. That is the easy way to put it. I think a lot of people have been here for a while. It's been a very long day, but it's been an honor to help do this. And I'll hand it off to you, the returnee. You want to send us off?
Oh, it's been a wonderful day. 8 hours as a whole of Overwatch, of some of the best that we've seen in a while. You and I, Jesse, we love the high school scene. We love the scholastic scene, and empowering these students, these players, in whatever might be next for them in the journey of the esports. And it was a real treat to have them here today at the St. Charles High Overwatch Invitational. That is going to go ahead and do it all for us. It's been wonderful. Thank you to everyone who came out to support these students. I know it means so much to them to be on the stage and to hear you guys supporting and cheering for them along their way. Congratulations to Francis Howell Central on their two-peat. And we're really hoping to see what is left in store for these players, because the future ahead is so bright.